Football presents CFA Football. From the Southeastern Conference, the Tennessee Volunteers and the Florida Gators. The Gators coming into the stadium ranked 4th in the national polls, trying for a 3rd straight SEC championship. 4th in the first 5 years under Coach Steve Spurrier. They'd love dearly to make it a #1 in the national polls. But first, they have to deal with the Tennessee Volunteers, who are ranked 8th nationally this week. They're also undefeated, and they too can spell championship, and they too are in the Eastern Division of the Southeastern Conference. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Swamp. And if we look soggy, it's because it is hot. 2 years ago, we were here for this game, and true freshman Danny Wuerffel made his first start for Florida at quarterback, and they won big, 41-34. Today, he will start as a junior. 2 years ago, Peyton Manning, Tennessee's starting quarterback, was making everything at Isidore Newman High School in New Orleans. And then last year, took over at quarterback when Jerry Colquitt was injured. And Bob Griese, perhaps this young man is more advanced as a football general despite his tender years.
Well, he's a young guy. He's only 19. But the thing I like, the common denominator about the both of them, Wuerffel and Manning, intelligence, #1, and decision-making. You get those two qualities, you're going to be a good quarterback.
And they're both working behind two very good offensive lines.
Outstanding offensive line. Maybe two of the best in the nation. Two great lines. A couple of them have had 2- and 3-year starters at the positions.
Game, however, will still swing on what the defense does or does not do.
Well, the defenses have not played well, but both teams are going to throw the ball and throw it a lot. But I think the running game, for Tennessee, they need to run to control the ball, and Spurrier has only lost one game where he's rushed for more than 150 yards.
Okay. Well, the Gators call this stadium their home, the Swamp. And these other Gators have their home right on campus, too. They call it Lake Alice. The Gators won the toss. They want the ball. 6th season at Florida for Steve Spurrier, 51-12-1. And Steve has only lost 2 games down in the Swamp. Bill Fulmer on the other side of the field. He was an offensive guard at Tennessee. He's in his 4th season as boss man of the Volunteers with a record, as you see there, it's a good record, of 23-6-1. Jeff Hall, a redshirt freshman, will kick it off for Tennessee. Riedel Anthony and Ike Hilliard are the deep people. The ball knocked into the end zone for Anthony. Oh, up the middle of the field. He's a flyer, but he is caught and dragged down by the Tennessee Volunteers just short of the 30-yard line. So they start with pretty good field position. Danny Wuerffel, we told you, started here 2 years ago, his first real start, and he's rolling up the numbers. In '94, he had twice as many touchdowns as he did interceptions. So he steps in at quarterback with Terry Jackson and Dwayne Mobley lined up behind him. Jeff Mitchell steps in at center. And the first play of the ball came from the 29-yard line as a pass going deep down the middle for Riedel Anthony. And it is incomplete. Teron Jenkins defending for Tennessee. They're playing on real grass here at the Swamp. And here are the Chili's starting lineup, backs and receivers for the Gators. Chris Doering, number 28, not the biggest, not the swiftest, but he is the go-to guy among the receivers for the Florida Gators. 2nd down and 10. Changing the play. Tennessee changes the defense. Linebacker comes up, then drops off. Wuerffel back to throw. No pressure. Pass is away. Pass is too high. And falls incomplete, intended this time for Ike Hilliard. The offensive front for the Florida Gators, as Bob told you, is a good one, led by Jason Odom. Jason Odom has been a starter ever since he walked on campus. He is a load at the offensive tackle position.
Both Odom and Green have been 4-year starters. Mitchell and Young have started the last 3 years. Tennessee defense is last in stopping opponents on 3rd down situations in the conference. Florida is one of the best offensively.
Wuerffel using the hand signals to get the play off, goes back to throw it again, looks for Doering down the middle, goes underneath, and the ball is fumbled, and Tennessee's got a shot at it and may have it. Tennessee ball.
No. Florida
ball.
got it.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It looked like Tennessee was going to come up with it. That would have been a big turnover early in this game.
I thought they wrapped a white shirt from around the ball, but not so. The Florida man was under him.
There's Gallion, number 93, on a blitz. Flushes Werfel out of the pocket. And Gallion knocks the ball loose. It was recovered by Florida.
Robbie Stevenson, the punter, is in. The snap is high. He's up to get it. Gets his kick away, and a good job by Stevenson. It gets away from Nilo Sylvan, and the number 2 man in the country at returning punt does not have a chance. They got a hold of the 47-yarder by Robbie Stevenson. The opening game against Houston, the home crowd booed Stevenson. Peyton Manning comes trotting onto the field at 6'5", 202, sophomore out of New Orleans and the son of Archie. You see his numbers as a starter at Tennessee. That's impressive. Twice as many touchdowns as interceptions. Jay Graham will open in a single back offense, and let's count the number of receivers. Tennessee always has speed at the outside position, and they're almost never afraid to use them. The referee today is Jimmy Harper.
If you're from the South, but if you're from the North, it's Jimmy Harper.
I think he's a terrific official.
He is the greatest.
First down and 10. The ball is at the 19-yard line. Peyton Manning back, fakes the run, lets the pass go, and he's got his man open. The ball is caught on the dead run by Joey Kent. Going down the sidelines, he's caught with the back of the shirt and dragged down at the Florida 9. So what the Gators had in mind, Tennessee does in the opening snap of the game. It was the speed of Fred Weary who ran him down.
Keith, here's Weary out here. Now watch as the receiver is just going to run right by him. The play action fake. Watch Weary, the defensive back, will watch the play action. He sees the play action. He is frozen for a second, and too much speed, 72 yards. Big play. Both teams starting out with a long pass.
Special teams are pretty good on both sides. Manning's pass is caught for a touchdown by Marcus Nash. Nash showed you some athletic ability as Manning's pass was behind him. He just simply walked in a whirl and took it in for 6.
Going to be coming right at you. Nash was the inside man. Poor throw by Manning, but good enough. The two defensive backs collided as the receivers crossed.
Joe Manning takes him 81 yards and 81 yards and 15 seconds.
That's a way to calm down a hostile crowd.
That will take some of the wind out of the sails for a little bit around here until the Gators can get something going themselves. Jeff Hall makes it Tennessee 7 and Florida nothing.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Here is Nash. Now as he breaks to the outside receiver is going to come in. Watch the two defensive backs as they will collide. The two receivers cross. The defensive backs have a traffic problem. It's good coaching by David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator. 2 plays and a touchdown. Quiets the crowd for Tennessee.
And Jeff Hall is ready to kick it away from his 35-yard line with Riedel Anthony and Ike Hilliard waiting for it. Anthony had a pretty good return the last time. This kick is shorter. Up at the 6-yard line, looks for daylight, got a crack, gets to the 30, shakes a man, 35, still going. Looking for help, and finally out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So that's a pretty good run by Anthony to get the Gators even better field position for their second possession. They trail in the ball game 7-0. Lynn Swan now.
Keith, noise is going to be a factor in this game, and one of the reasons because in 1991 they closed off this end of the end zone, which is to the left side of your screen. Now Tennessee can do 3 things to take the crowd out: make the big play, get a turnover, or score. so far, they're doing those things right now to Florida. Keith?
Both teams using the hand signals as we have seen. And Wuerffel back. His pass is thrown to the outside. The pass is caught in a poor tackling job on Jerome Evans as Evans turns it upfield for about a 10-yard pickup. The defense for the Volunteers. Leonard Little is an undersized defensive end, but he is very quick and very, very stubborn.
It'll be a big factor today. They hope to get him matched up against the big tackle, Mo Collins, on the right side.
The running play for Florida. Stuffed short of the line of scrimmage. They were about a foot short of the first down. And on the running play by Terry Jackson, they hammer him backwards.
There's Leonard Little right there.
Yep, Leonard Little is at 238, 6'3". That's not that big by today's standards along the defensive front. Hines, Gallion, Sanders, they're all good, and they will all blitz. Hines and Gallion particularly highly regarded across the Southeastern Conference. Jackson finds some daylight, and he goes to the Tennessee 41-yard line. And that's a hole behind Jeff Mitchell and Reggie Green.
Steve Spurrier has always thrown first to open up the running game. And as we said in the opening, every time he rushes for 150 yards or more, he is going to win. Right there, home record 30-2 in the swamp. The run is a big part of their offense.
Good football teams answer an early score. Florida's trying to do that. Tennessee put it in the end zone in 2 plays. Wuerffel back, pressure zone, pass away. Pass complete to Hilliard down at the Tennessee 20-yard line. Wuerffel got it away just as he was belted by number 64, Steve White. Defensively in the secondary for Tennessee, and if there's a weakness, that's where you'll find it. Jenkins, Austin, Gaines, and Bear. They have not gelled as yet. Ball is just a fraction inside the 20 for the Gators. First down. Tennessee leads 7-0. 2-back set. Jackson the ball. Weaves his way in traffic. George Kidd, number 42, the first man to get a hand on him. And again, the offensive line surge by Florida is inside the 14.
The stories today for Florida, offensively a balanced attack. We talked about their passing, it's outstanding, but they need to run to win. And defensively, they need to harass and confuse Manning. He certainly wasn't confused on that first drive.
It's 2nd down and 5. Wuerffel looking into the end zone. He has Hilliard, touchdown. Hilliard got away from Raymond Austin and is running free when the ball arrives.
From behind the offense, Spurrier has already dissected what they're doing defensively when he puts 2 receivers. Again, they cross. This time, easy pickings.
Bart Edmiston for the extra point, succeeding the Groza Award winner, Judd Davis. Everything works, and we've got a tie ball game. Like I said, good football teams have an answer. DFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Beechwood Age Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And the document company, Xerox. Matt Teague will kick it off for the Gators. Nilo Silvin waits for it for Tennessee. He had a big return against Georgia in their narrow win last week. He leads the nation in kickoff returns by better than 40 yards, and they're not going to give him the ball. They puff it up. It is fair caught at the 32-yard line by Tennessee. The Tennessee receiver is run into by one of the Gators, and that gets a flag after the fair catch.
Let's go back to the touchdown. It's going to be very similar to what Tennessee did. Again, crossing receivers. Right here, the inside man, Hilliard, is going to catch. Watch the defensive backs. As when the receivers cross, a little traffic problem, just enough margin to get the ball in there.
That was Danny Werfel's 44th touchdown pass. Penalty is not against the Gators. Ball was possessed, and a penalty foul is called on Tennessee, and it's a big one. Personal foul against the Volunteers, and it moves the football all the way back to the 16-yard line. So here comes Peyton Manning again now. Not particularly good field position. The last possession started at the 19. He changed his play. The crowd is thundering and roaring. This is the penultimate hostile arena. The game is out to the 18, and we go north to John Saunders for this report.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. In week 1, it was Vanderbilt. In week 2, is a touchdown, and Arkansas knocks off Alabama 2019. Keith.
I knew that Arkansas was going to beat somebody this year. They weren't supposed to. Manning's pass to the sidelines is completed to Milo Sylvan. He's trying for the marker, and the Gators have stopped him just short of it. The Chili starting lineup for Tennessee, the backs and receivers are these. Joey Kent is the go-to man among the Tennessee wide people. He was the guy that caught 4 successive passes in the Georgia game that put Tennessee in position to take a 27-24 lead when they had to have it.
Well, as you said, Keith, they have a lot of good receivers, and a lot of time they wish that Manning had more footballs to be thrown.
3rd down and a yard. They give it to the up man, Jessica Ford, the 228-pound junior fullback out of Danville, Kentucky, and he's got the first down. The offensive line for Tennessee, as we said at the very beginning today, it's one of the very good ones of the country. It is anchored by Big Bubba, and it is led by Jason Lehman.
Robert Poole is the sophomore. Ratliff, who normally plays right tackle, would have had 5 fifth-year seniors up there, but Poole is filling in for Ratliff.
Ratliff suspended, not on the team, charged with aggravated assault. The handoff is inside. Gain is across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Jay Graham carrying the ball, and he's been over 100 yards in the first 2 games this season against East Carolina and Georgia. Florida's defensive front is led by Mark Campbell. Johnny Church just now getting in shape to play, but it's Campbell who's the big man.
There's a weak area, Keith. This might be it. They lost 3 to the NFL, and they've had a lot of injuries at the defensive tackle spot.
Again, Peyton Manning calling the signals along the line with this crowd screaming in his ear. On 2nd down and 7, it's Sylvan. And Sylvan has the first down across the 40 to the 41-yard line. 8:45 to go in the first quarter, and we're all even at 7. The linebackers for the Florida Gators are these. Ben Hanks, who plays what they call a nickelbacker. That means he bounces all over the place and does all kinds of things. Bartley and Bates. And the secondary, Anton Lott is the leader back there. Fred Weary, however, is the man who brings the kind of speed to the defensive secondary they sorely needed. First down for the Volunteers at their 41. So they have moved from the 16th. Manning looks around, steps away, throws underneath. And taking the ball is Marcus Nash, the man who scored the touchdown. They'll give him an advance up to the 45-yard line.
A lot of things going on. Here's the stories for Tennessee. Offensively, they need to run behind that good offensive line and against the weak defensive line for Florida. And defensively, they've got to take away something from Florida. And if they shut down the run and force the pass, that'll be a step in the right direction. Manning now 5 of 5, 100 yards and 1 touchdown.
Looking at 2nd down and a long 6, and they run it. And it's Graham close to midfield. They'll be about 2 yards short of the first down. Scores starting to come in. Nebraska having scored 63 points against Arizona State in the 2nd quarter. Good grief.
A lot of frustration, I believe, out in Lincoln.
Yeah, I think so. 3rd and 2.
Look at this. 4 wide receivers to the left side of the formation. Look at the top 4 wide receivers.
And out of the shotgun, Manning rolls that way. Penalty flags all over the field. And the The gain is inside the Florida 45 for a first down. And Jimmy Harper will tell us about it.
I wonder what you call that. You know, if there's 3 out there, you call it trips, but maybe you call that quad left. 4 wide receivers.
Maybe they had too many men.
Maybe they did.
And on the field during the play.
You're right, they did.
Defensive team, first
on the
down.
defense. On the defense.
Well,
Florida had the 12 men on the field.
well, wait a minute. Let's go back. Let me
Maybe they both had 12. Looked like it, like they had 14 or 15.
I guess Tennessee was all right.
That's kind of scary when you look out there and you think, hey, they got the old swinging gate. No, those are speed burners. Those are thoroughbreds. Put it on the Florida 35-yard line. Another first down for the Volunteers. It's Graham. Pops through the hole on the left side and gets it down to the 29. That's a 6-yard pickup on that carry by Jay Graham, 206-pound junior from Concord, North Carolina.
Keith, one of the things that Tennessee does offensively that is so tough for a defense is they change personnel. The last play, previous play, they had 4 wide receivers in and shotgun. That time they had 2 backs tied in and 2 wide. They're always changing personnel. You got to know what's in the game.
Double wide now to the bottom of the picture. Florida showing 4 men down. Now they show blitz, and they throw it outside for a wide receiver screen. The ball is caught by Benji Schuler, the younger brother of Heath Schuler, who's now with the Washington Redskins. And the play is good for a gain down to about the 34, and it looks like the first down. ABC.
That should be a good ball game. Greg Lloyd was mouthing off a little bit about Marino.
First down, just inside the 35. Give it to Jay Graham, and Graham pounds for a couple of yards until the Gators can gang tackle him at 6 minutes to go in the first quarter and a 7-7 game. So Tennessee getting the big play to start the game and a quick score in 2 plays. Now nickel and dime their way down the field, running it more and more.
And this is the thing they want to do. Run it with that big offensive line, control it, quiet the crowd, and keep Spurrier's offense off the field.
Horn, the tight end, moves into an H-back position or a flanker spot. Here's the pass. Pass is good. And a penalty flag down at the 11-yard line as Maurice Staley made the catch, but there's a flag back up here where the ball was thrown.
That was personal foul. The defensive team, illegal blow to the head of the quarterback. It's an add-on penalty. Be half the distance from the 11-yard line. Automatic first down.
So big penalty there for the Florida defense. Jimmy Harper, we told you, the referee, Mike Wallace, the umpire, Ray Moon, Tommy Lorino, Bob Lee, Bill Bedoin, and Ronnie Huggins, the back judge. Southeastern Conference crew, obviously. 5:28 to play in the first quarter. Tennessee owns football, first and goal at the Florida 5-yard line. Graham is the beatback. Manning calls timeout. So Peyton Manning, just a few yards away from the crowd, wants some conversation. Big game here with September 18, sophomore Danny Werfel in his first career start. Put the Gators ahead 28-14. That should be freshman with a pass to Harrison Houston. Then Tennessee's Heath Schuler threw 5 touchdown passes, including that one to Joey Kent. Gators won the game 41-34. In this current drive, Tennessee is bidding for the lead. Have it first down and goal at the 5. It is the 12th play of this possession, and Peyton Manning is 7 of 7. And it is Graham. Right down to the goal line, but not in. Got a pretty good wrestle out of Lawrence Wright, a 206-pound strong safety.
Tennessee has been pretty good this year inside the 20. And Florida has not been real good. When your defensive backs are making the tackles inside the 10-yard line, you're in trouble. Anthon Lott, the corner, leads the Gators coming in tackle.
It is second down and goal from the 1. Fullback. Chester Moore. Touchdown. Tennessee.
Moore carries for the score.
I talked to both sets of coordinators and both head coaches this week, and they both knew what the game plan would be for Tennessee, and that is run behind that line and run inside against the Florida defensive line. They lost 3 to the NFL, and they've lost 3 of their best 4 defensive tackles, the inside guys, to injury. So they're...
Touchdown is broken.
Ronnie Took, special teams coach for Florida.
It's 13-7, and Fred Weary is the man who got it, the cornerback.
That's just great athletic ability by Weary, number 24, as he leaped from behind the defensive line to make that block. That ball had to be a little low, or else he's got jets that I haven't seen before.
It had to be low, no question about it. And to punctuate it, it breaks that string of 168 consecutive points after touchdowns, meaning the Alabama streak remains the record. All right. Hall will kick it off now, and the same people are back for Florida as Tennessee leads 13-17. That could be so big down toward the end of the fourth quarter.
It might be, but I think points are cheap in this game.
Might very well be.
I think you're going to see a lot of them.
Here's the kick. They'll give Anthony a shot at it from the 6. He wiggles around quite a bit, comes up to the 24-yard line, and now let's check in again with John.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. Washington.
Ohio State's been off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, there's some rust probably still. Most of the Huskies, both of them, probably a little rusty. First down for the Gators at the 24-yard line. And they'll run it with Terry Jackson. Fred Taylor and Elijah Williams got dinged up in the Kentucky game. Terry Jackson got into the ball game. He is the third of the Jacksons in that particular family to play at Florida, and he turned in a fine outing running the ball, and he's going to stay there.
Look at this, Keith, and that's what we've been talking about. Florida under Spurrier since 90. 150 yards or more, they're 32-1.
That's a good seal block on the corner there by the Gators. Tennessee man overran the play, and then Jackson just turned on the Jets and made a big play out of it. Got a first down.
Spurrier has the Gators up at the line of scrimmage, changing the tempo a little bit, going no huddle. Rushing yards up to this point, 35 for the Gators.
44-yard line, first down. Werfel calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
They're up there faking blitz. Now they back out of it.
And we get a whistle.
Before the ball snap, we have illegal movement, offensive line, 5 yards.
So Florida's third mistake of the ball game. That'll back them up 5 to the 39. Man on the Saturday night movie tonight on ABC. Pass is lofted to the sidelines, intended for Riddell Anthony, and it's just a shade too long. He was open.
Well, he was. The Gators have gone 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and he's got single coverage on the outside. Riddell ran a little post corner, and he had it. Werfel just missed him.
Werfel has a little bit of a different throwing motion, sort of pushes the ball.
Yep, no huddle again.
Second and 15 from the 39. 3. Trying to catch Tennessee leaning on 2nd and 15, and Raymond Austin made the tackle. In 12 minutes, the two teams have produced 231 yards of offense.
Terry Jackson, his brother, Willie Jr., played wide receiver here from 90 to 93, and his father, Willie Jackson Sr., was the first black to play football at Florida. He was a wide receiver back in the 70s, early 70s.
3rd and 11 for the Gators. Werfel looks down the middle. Chased out of the pocket. Now lets it go. Pass is completed. And the tackle is made on Nafis Kareem out of Marietta, Georgia. And it's a Florida first down at the Tennessee 32.
Keith, early on when we did the opening and talking about the two quarterbacks, I said two things impressed me: intelligence and decision making. Nobody is open, but the coverage is good, but he gets scrambled. So he scrambles out, the corner comes up, now he makes the right decision to dump it over his head. Just a good decision by Werfel.
First down on the 32. And the pitch to Jackson. Starts right, gives it back to Werfel. And he throws it into the end zone where it is intercepted by Tennessee. Volunteers will have it at the 20-yard line, and Werfel is belted as he let it go. Deron Jenkins is the man who intercepted the ball. Leonard Little is the man that almost took his head off.
Little's going to be on our right side, the white jersey, number 1. Watch to the right side. Little and Mo Collins, that was the matchup we talked about early. That was a poor decision. I talked about making good decisions. This is a poor one. He wanted to get rid of it before the sack got there. Just didn't throw it away far enough.
And the man for whom the ball was intended, Anthony, had no chance.
You don't want to lay it up down the middle of the field. That's a dangerous spot.
Mark Levine is in the backfield. However, this handball is handed off to Eric Lane, the fullback. And Lane has a little bit of grief right along the line of scrimmage. Lane is a 217-pound junior at fullback, and Mark Levine is a freshman out of Dallas, a redshirt. Ronnie Pillow is another tailback, a sophomore out of Columbia, Tennessee. This would be Tennessee's best starting point for a possession, but they have already lost the yard with 2nd down 11.
It's a very hot day, Keith. It's going to be key to rotate your linemen and your backs.
They're running it. This is the tailback, Levine. And he's out across the 25 to the 27.
Take a look at the line of scrimmage, the battle. 97 is Barnard. Pretty good job there by the offensive line. 89, the tight end, is Pfeiffer.
Make it the 26 and call it 3rd down and 4. Florida's got 7 people up there. Pitch it back to Levine again. He's trying to get to the outside. Dives for the 30. They give it to him, and he'll have the first down. Ben Hanks got a piece of him, but Ben couldn't hold it. It's by the length of the football for the first down.
Hanks is an interesting story. Of course, number 11 was retired. Spurrier had worn that. The Heisman Trophy winner, All-American, it was retired, and he thought so much of this young man that he unretired his own number. He's kind of taken Ben Hanks under his wing.
He graduated last August.
Yes, he did.
He's playing as a graduate student. Peyton Manning back to throw it. Goes underneath, and it's off the hands of Mark Nash, the sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Nash was open. That is the first miss of the ball game by Peyton Manning, and I'm not sure that it was his fault.
He didn't miss it much, did he? It was right on the fingertips.
Here's Lynn Swann.
You were talking about Ben Hanks, Bob, there for a second. You know, he is a very special young man. He was so much of a question academically, he had to get special approval from the university president. He graduated August 12th this year. That has to be the biggest moment in number 11's life.
One of 10 kids.
Manning going back, looking as if he wanted to throw. Hands hands it off instead to Levine, and Florida eats him up at the 30-yard line. So we've played a quarter, and after the first one, it's Tennessee 13 and Florida 7. As we start the second quarter of play, Tennessee leading 13-7. The Volunteers have the ball at their own 30-yard line. They have a 3rd and 11 coming up. Ronnie Pillow is in at tailback, and he is a very good pass receiver. So effectively, Manning has 4 receivers to work with. He has good protection. He goes down the middle to his man. It is complete to Marcus Nash with a diving catch and a first down at the Florida 49-yard line.
Keith, everybody is covered. Watch the protection of the offensive line. We said it would be key. Look how much time he has. Everybody is covered, and Nash was almost still covered. In fact, he just threw. That was the best shot that he had to complete that pass, and it was just barely open.
All right, Graham comes back on as the Tennessee tailback. 3 wide out. First down, Volunteers just over the 50. And he again has good protection, and his pass is a bullet to number 3, Ronnie Pillow, who had stepped up into a wing position that time, and he picks up about 7 yards. Once again, some news from John.
Keith, they lost their coach. They lost some key position players.
Oregon Ducks have not surrendered the crown.
They're on a mission to show that last year was not a fluke.
They beat Illinois without their starting quarterback. 2nd down and a yard. They give him 9 yards on that last play. Here's that little quick pop again. It goes to Pillow. And Pillow, remember, is a tailback. He can make things happen if you give him a little daylight. And he gets a first down there at the 31 of Florida.
So look at the numbers after the first quarter. Total yardage, 154 for Tennessee. They have not been stopped yet. Time of possession about the same. Tennessee has had 2 possessions and has scored 2 touchdowns, and they're moving toward a 3rd.
And Manning is 10 of 11 with 157 yards. Jay Graham caught behind the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play. And it was Willie Rogers, a sophomore from Miami, who slipped in there and locked his arm. Mark Campbell comes out of the ball game for a moment. A lot of heavy traffic out there in the middle, and it's a hot day. It's got to be 100 degrees down on the field.
Well, as we mentioned, Spurrier and his staff, Bobby Pruitt, the defensive coordinator, rotating a lot of defensive linemen on the pass rush.
Loss of a yard, 2nd down, 11 from the 32. Manning over the middle. Man is there. It is completed. Number 80, I think it was, who made the catch. It'll be Greg Tyler, or was it Andy McCullough? Andy McCullough, 88. Well, they are running some...
Now, he's about 7th or 8th on the depth chart as far as receivers are concerned. Peyton Manning doing a great job of finding the open receiver. Of course, the offensive line giving him some time, but I'm looking down into the secondary, and I see one guy that's open, and that's the guy that's getting the ball.
First down at the Florida 18-yard line. Manning again. This time he shakes off the tackler and throws it away. Saves the loss. He got away from Johnny Church, and it looked like Church was going to suck him, and he was able to dump it. And it's 2nd down and 10.
Johnny Church is playing in his first ball game. He was suspended the first 2 ball games, suspended 1 game, had an injury the 2nd game, and he was really playing well at the end of last year, Johnny Church. Peyton doesn't possess real good foot speed, but you get that offensive line and that quick release, you're doing all right.
Graham has it. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage by Ben Hanks, but was able to get back across the line of scrimmage and pick up about 3 yards. So they're looking at 3rd and long.
The thing
Number 94 is coming off. That's Ed Chester, one of the defensive tackles for Florida.
Bubba Miller is out of the ball game. Keith just getting a rest. They'll take out those offensive linemen on different series, give them a break. But you got to change the rhythm of your snap count because Ben Hanks is picking it up. That time he blitzed and got into the backfield.
Brent Gibson is now the center for Tennessee. Manning dumps it off on the penetration. The ball goes to Graham, and Graham is downed as he reaches the 13-yard line by Ben Hanks. So Ben getting busy all of a sudden in the Gator defense, and the Tennessee kicking team trots onto the field for 4th down. So it's Jeff Hall, who's 5 out of 6 in field goals this year. He kicked a 34-yarder with 10 seconds remaining last week in Knoxville to beat Georgia. This will be a 31-yard try. It's a redshirt freshman kicker, a walk-on holder, and a walk-on snapper. And it all worked. At 10:34 to go in the first half, Tennessee now leads 16-7.
To look at Peyton Manning, he's talking to David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator upstairs, and Cutcliffe says he is the smartest quarterback he has ever had. He says he's smart. He comes to the meetings with a notepad of notes and questions that he's had from film study on his own. Says he's never had a guy that's been so into it as Peyton Manning.
Into the end zone, Riedel Anthony will put it down. They'll bring it out to the 20. And next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on ABC Sports, most of you will see Mississippi State against these Tennessee Volunteers or other regional action. Check your local listing for the game in your area or call your local cable operator for the games that might be available on pay-per-view next Saturday here on ABC. In plays in the game, and this is a fundamental, there's certain credos about football that are inevitable and irreversible. One is big fast people beat little fast people. We know that. But if you've got the ball, the other fellow can't score, right?
Right.
Tennessee's had 29 plays and Florida 15. Now this is their 16th play. They run it with Terry Jackson, and the redshirt freshman from here in Gainesville will pick up a pretty good gain on the play. Well, they call him down. He bounced apparently back on the 23. Colorado is involved with Florida today and leading the Western Division of the National League. About the only real race going on in baseball is in that Western Division of the National League and the scrap for the at-large spots. Danny Werfel throws the ball. Is loose. It is an incomplete forward pass. It was intended for number 23, Dwayne Mobley, the fullback.
Keith, this puts a little pressure on the offense of the Gators and Coach Spurrier, because he knows that if he doesn't pick up a first down here, he's liable to lose. He will lose the ball. The last 2 possessions for Tennessee, they kept it for 13 plays and then 14 plays. So if he gives it up here, he may not see it again for 4 or 5 minutes.
Right, and he might not see it again for the half. It is 3rd down and long 7. There's some pressure. Ball is slapped out of his hands. Florida covers it, but it'll be 4th down and about 12 or 13. Leonard Little again. Yep.
That was the concern. Number 1 to the right of your screen, Leonard Little on Mo Collins. Collins is a redshirt freshman playing this year for the first time, and Little just knocks the ball out. That's good enough to force him to punt.
Robbie Stevenson had a 47-yarder with no return. Nilo Sylvan is back waiting, standing at about the 38-yard line of Tennessee. Low kick. That gives Sylvan some room. And crosses midfield to the Florida 48. 40-yard punt, 10-yard return. And let's see about the flag.
After the play is over, we have a late hit on a kicking team, a 15-yard penalty, and a first down.
That is the second 15-yard penalty that Florida has been hit with for personal foul. That was a late hit. So they're shooting themselves in the foot here in the first half of play. Tennessee is already leading 16-7, and putting them down this close to the goal line is inviting them to score more. There's the late hit right there.
Yeah.
Drive will go into the books as starting on the 49. It's located at the 34 as a result of a dead ball personal foul. And this is Jay Graham turning the corner and picking up another Tennessee first down. So the Volunteers are rolling up the real estate here in this first half.
Tennessee on its first 3 drives has scored on every possession. And it's the offensive line that's leading the way, and Peyton Manning that's making the plays.
And Bubba Miller, who has started every game that he's played in, is back at center. Manning's only misses was 1 drop and 1 thrown away to save a sack. This is Graham again. And he comes around that corner. He's a load down to the 20, and here's 20.
Keith, you know, we were talking about Bubba Miller, number 71, who's back in the ball game. He's playing not 100%. He's got a bone growth on his tibia, and he's not quite at 100%. But as tough as he is, there are a whole bunch of kids in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Boys and Girls Club that think he's just a big sweetheart, because for the last 3 years, he spent his summer reading to kids between the age of 6 and up. So they love him.
He's the Pied Piper of that little Boys and Girls Club, too. They follow him around like he's everything. Yes, he is.
Second down, pass into the end zone, touchdown. Marcus Nash's second catch for a touchdown. Peyton Manning was leveled as the ball was away, but it had plenty of zip on it, and it worked.
He hangs in there as long as he can. Now he throws the ball to the outside. Throws the ball deep to the outside. He had to throw that ball long before Nash was out there. He never saw the completion, I'll guarantee you.
All for the point. Good. And at 7:49 to go in the first half. It is a stunning score. Number 8, Tennessee 23, number 4, Florida 7.
To that last pass, touchdown. Campbell 67 does an arm over, gets there just a little bit too late. Watch Peyton. He doesn't know yet, doesn't know. Now he sees it. All right.
And so Jeff Hall will kick off again for Tennessee.
That was not excessive celebrating, by the way.
Never know, never know.
No. That's all right. This quarterback's just a little excitement.
High hanger, Anthony at the 4. And down with some authority at the 17. And Tennessee now is really pumped.
Well,
Gators need something good to happen.
what they've done, they've taken the crowd out of
the game.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, Monday Night Football will be down yonder, down the road, and be up in North Carolina, sawing lumber.
Well, I'm going to be watching that game for sure, I'll guarantee you. Winner of that one could go on to win the conference. It'll be a good one.
Danny Werfel is back. He throws outside to Terry Jackson to get him some running room, and he finds it all the way to the 28-yard line. So that's going to be a first down for the Florida Gators. The winner of this game is going to have a huge edge in what happens in the Southeastern Conference's Eastern Division.
Right. You know, Keith, Florida and Spurrier are down by 16 points, but somehow or other, you've got confidence that they're going to score at least 30 points, and this game is still a close game.
This is Fred Taylor, the sophomore from Belgrade, fresh legs into the ball game. that's what it can do for you right there. Fresh legs can give you a first down.
Taylor hurt his shoulder in last week's ball game against Kentucky. They thought it might have been a slight separation, but I think it was just more of a bruise.
Well, he's back down.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, it's a Tennessee man who is down. But Taylor looked gimpy when that's Torrey Noel, cornerback or a defensive back who ran in and made the tackle, and he took him down low. And Taylor has some power. He's a big kid. He's 215 pounds. We were talking a moment ago about who wins this game has the big edge. Well, the reason, particularly in Florida's case, it is so important because they have on the road October 7, 14, and 28 in order LSU, Auburn, and Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard road to hoe when you got to go on the road and take on those people in the middle of your season. That's why this game is so big.
Yeah. And if Florida loses, there'll be one game.
Eastern Conference is pretty big. That's Auburn at LSU. First down. Just over the 38-yard line after the run by Fred Taylor.
Here they come.
Werfel gets it away. The pass is caught by Taylor out of the backfield, and he's going to pick up 7 yards. So Werfel got his 7 and got grass stains all over his britches.
They're blitzing Werfel and freeing up the back. Now, if this back hadn't been caught by somebody off the other side of the line, nobody is covering this back. Taylor. Defensive man came from the other side of the field and saved a big game.
Scott Gallion, the blitzing backer. Second down and 3. They run it with Taylor. And Taylor has been a bully since he came into the game. Penalty flag, I think, thrown down around the 44-yard line. Nope. It's not a flag. It's a piece of somebody's shirt.
Number 74 right there in the blue jersey. You've got 2 of the best tackles in the country here today. Odom for Florida getting a block, and Taylor going right behind him. That's good play. The other tackle, Jason Lehman for Tennessee. Odom, a 4-year starter.
Gators moving it now. First down at the Volunteers 44, and Werfel back. Swings it out again to Taylor. He's busy, and he's productive. And he's all the way down to the 26-yard line. The Volunteers secondary, 3 of them never got him out of bounds.
You know a Spurrier offense is going to come back and score points. They're averaging 44 points on the year in 2 ball games. And Steve wants the other people. He says, personnel, I want the right personnel in there. He is intense, isn't he?
They got to spend a timeout at 5 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the first half, and the Gators are threatening. Today, we'll pick a genuine Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. To date, Chevrolet contributing almost $5.5 million to scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Johnny Chavis is the new defensive coordinator for Tennessee. He replaced Larry Marmee, who went off to UCLA. So Johnny's got his hands full right now with the Florida Gators threatening on first down and 10 at the 26-yard line of Tennessee. Tennessee leading 23-7. Werfel sees Taylor, goes down the middle, not a touchdown, but it's going to be to the 2-yard line. If he doesn't fall down, Terry Jackson walks in. There was nobody there.
Here's Jackson here, Keith, and one of the things against the 2-deep zone is you want to get your man down the middle. Watch the 2 safeties as they're going to split, and the halfback gets down the middle. This is a sneaky way to get somebody down the middle. Usually it's a wide receiver or a tight end. That's an excellent concept and an excellent throw.
Now you got Taylor lined up behind Evans. Taylor with the ball. Stopped after a half a yard or so.
Taylor on the carry, stopped by Austin.
Raymond Austin brought him down. That was the 7th play of this possession, by far Florida's longest possession of the first half. 4:42 to go in the first half. They're going left, I think. Yep. Taylor, touchdown.
Number 74, the right tackle, is Oldham. He gets 2 blocks. You're getting ready to get hit when you get in that end zone, Taylor. Red Taylor.
Bart Edmiston for the point, junior out of Pensacola. Holder is Matt T. The snapper is Kevin Johnson, and it worked. And the Gators put 14 points on the scoreboard now, while Tennessee has 23. And this is the pass play that cracked the door for that second Gator touchdown.
This was the pass play to the halfback Taylor down the middle of the field. Green, 78, doing a great job. Oldham, 74. That's the play that set it up.
Coming up on the Prudential halftime report, John Saunders will have scores and highlights. We'll hear from Nebraska's head coach Tom Osborne regarding the Cornhuskers controversy and problems around the field. Bob mentioned a little while ago that Ratliff, offensive tackle with Tennessee, was not here. Leslie Ratliff suspended from the team. There have been charges of assault by his girlfriend and some allegations apparently of money provided from an outside source. The incident is said to have occurred in a dorm room on campus, which makes it subject to the Student Judicial Affairs Office. And Florida right now has 4 players that are still waiting a hearing with the Senate Judicial Council, Student Judicial Council. And they can put you off the campus if they remind you. Nilo Sylvan on the return for Tennessee, and he is taken down hard at about the 23-yard line. 4 minutes and 21 seconds to play in the first half. 23-14. Those are games now that are going to be played tonight. We told you about that one. Southern California should not have any trouble with that one either.
How many points were scored when these two teams played here a couple years ago?
75.
75.
Yep.
Well, we're on our way.
Yep. Mark Levine is the single back for Tennessee from the 23. He has it, and he's down at the 20 as the Gator defense responds. Johnny Church, a loss of 2 yards. It'll be second down and 12.
The Gators trying to get this 85,000 people is strong in fullback back in the ball game. The first half possessions, they've scored every time they've had the ball.
Manning's got to throw it here. And it is incomplete, intended for his tight end, David Horn. That was not a good pass by Manning. He put it in a position where it's almost impossible for Horn to catch it.
Slightly behind him, but the thing here for Tennessee and Manning, young quarterback, just calm down, don't make any big mistakes. The worst thing you want to do here is just punt the ball away if you don't pick it up. Don't fumble it, don't turn it over.
Tennessee is 3 out of 4 on third down conversion. And the crowd is really into it right now.
There ain't no checking off here. They can't hear you.
Gators show a blitz. Manning steps away from the pressure. His pass is off. It is incomplete. They're going to call it complete?
Yes.
They call it complete and a fumble. And Joey Kent is hurt. It is a fumble after a completed forward pass.
Well, Manning scrambling sets this play up. He's going to scramble this way. Kent's going to come right at us. But Lawrence Wright from the left side, number 4, is going to deliver a blow that shakes the ball loose. Possession, yes. And there goes the ball. That's a big turnover for Florida. They say Lawrence Wright. When all of the receivers from the other teams watch the Florida films, they all notice number 4 because he's a hitter. If there's anybody in the secondary on any team, college or pro, that's a hitter, the wide receivers will know it. And they all knew that Lawrence Wright was a hitter.
He may have just deflated Joey Kent. Let's hope so. But he really took a lick. He's walking. 20.
Bob and Keith, this is Lynn Swan. I just want to tell you that I talked to Ron Zook, the special teams assistant for Florida before the game. His biggest concern was whether to kick off to Nilo Sylvan. You talk about a play that makes a difference. When they kicked off to him, they hit him so hard he walked off to the sideline. His shoulder was hurting. You should have seen that Florida sideline jump up and down. From that point on, the emotion was at a new level for Florida. Keith?
They have the football, first down at the Tennessee 47-yard line, trailing by only 9 points. And Joey Kent, who is the go-to receiver for the Volunteers, is walking tenderly to the bench. He had caught 2 passes for 98 yards in the game.
Watch for something big here.
Werfel calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
First play after turnover. Pretty good field position.
Tennessee showing blitz and trying to take that time away from him, and they do that. He fumbles the ball. Tennessee's got it back. Volunteers are moving it with Raymond Austin carrying. He's free. He scores. Tennessee gamble. They went for an all-out blitz. They separated the ball from Werfel. He had a man free. It was just a matter of a fraction of a second. The ball might have gone to the other end zone. But Raymond Austin picked it up and ran it in.
Well, something big was going to happen. Spurrier was trying to make it happen for the blue shirts, but Fulmer had the turnover. Touchdown for Tennessee.
No boys on campus.
Thanks.
Yeah, no boys.
Tennessee called timeout before we got the kick. Now we'll have the extra point try from Jeff Hall. And the Florida crowd is stunned again. Good. 30-14, Tennessee. As fate and fortune turned around on the Gators right there.
First of all, Tennessee is sending 7 guys, but here is White to blitz. To watch him as he comes around, and Werfel starts to scramble up to the top of the screen. Watch White. He's coming around. He doesn't see. Werfel doesn't even see him. Knocks the ball loose. 2 turnovers in a row. 2 fumbles. Austin picks this one up and runs it into the end zone. Now, if you're the quarterback, you see the blitz, you think, oh, I got man-to-man coverage in the secondary. I'm going to slide over here and make something happen. You get hit from behind. You never saw it coming.
Now watch Al Wilson, number 27, level Odom.
Right there.
46-yard fumble return after a 7-yard sack and fumble. And it's 30-14 Tennessee. And Jeff Hall kicks off. Short kick up at the 14, Anthony. And down at the 31. 3 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in the first half. This has been a very long second quarter. A lot has happened.
I've seen long second quarters, and I've seen long quarters. This was not a boring quarter.
It certainly wasn't. Well, we noted they had 75 points 2 years ago when they played here. They've got 44 with time still remaining.
No backs.
No backs. Fred Taylor is out as a wide man. Taylor, the tailback, is out as a wide receiver. Pass is thrown underneath, and going down on one knee is Nafis Kareem to make the tackle. Make the catch and avoid the tackle by Tennessee. Kareem is a redshirt freshman, so there's a lot of freshmen out on that field today. Ohio State has jumped out 23-7 over the Washington Huskies. I'm not surprised. Ohio State's a very good football team.
They may be loaded for bear this year.
Second down and 7. Carson coming. Purple's pass it away. He has Doring. He dropped it. Chris Doring finally getting a chance to see the ball for Florida. Didn't quite reel that one in.
That's a tough throw and a tough catch. Pretty good coverage. But that's a play that Florida needed to make.
As Oregon, I believe them. I think the Ducks are pretty good.
UCLA's playing with their freshman quarterback, too, aren't they?
Yes, Chad McNown, because Ryan Fein is out with a pretty good concussion and a separated shoulder and a cut chin. And Kevin Jordan is hurt. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is hurt. They're all beat up. And Werkel calls timeout. They will have one remaining at 2 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the first half. On the 34-yard line on the Florida side of the field. It is 3rd down and 7 for the Gators. Eric Kresser is the backup quarterback. He has not started to warm up.
He's played in both games for the Gators, and Spurrier likes him. Likes him a lot.
There's Marty Schottenheimer.
Marty's son, yeah. Said he wanted to come and learn how to be a quarterback, but also the passing game. He wanted to come to Florida to learn from Spurrier. He said, "Dad, I want to be a coach someday," and I think there's nobody better to learn from in college than at Florida from Steve Spurrier.
All right, they're set up now with trips at the top of the screen. 3 wideouts up there. Werfel back, throws it down to Doring. And Doring is right about the first down marker at the 42-yard line. So they'll move the chain.
That was a big first down there. Doring just working one-on-one. Little in and out route, picked it up.
No huddle. Ready to go. Same alignment. Pass it away. Penalty flag. And the pass is caught again by Doring. And it's going to involve somebody in that area. And it may be an offensive foul. So hang on. Jimmy Harper will tell you.
We have holding on the defense in the secondary. The penalty will be declined. First down.
So they do call it on the defense. Tennessee was claiming something, and they did not get the call.
Inside receiver number 28. Reached his arm back when Doring tried to cut back to the inside.
Yep. So Florida sits on the Tennessee side of the field now near the 41-yard line with a first down. Trailing by 16 points in 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the first half. Werfel's passes away to Hilliard. And Ike Hilliard will pick up about 9, close to 10 yards on that play. So now Werfel is really picking apart the Tennessee secondary.
Well, when you spread receivers from one sideline to the other, as Florida does on most occasions, you're going to split everybody out pretty good. You just pick and choose. The one interception and the one fumble that's led to a touchdown.
But you have to have some confidence, however, that the middle is going to hold up for you. Tennessee has really not pressured him. That's slapped away, and it goes incomplete, intended down the middle for Ike Hilliard. Defending was Raymond Austin.
You can't force things, though, Keith. Just because in practice that receiver may be open, you can't expect that it's in a game it's going to be open and just not look. If it's covered, you go to the next guy.
Ball sits at the 33, 3rd and 1. Taylor is the single back. He's got it. He's got the first down. He's down to the 23-yard line of Tennessee. And that'll stop the clock to move the chains at 1:23 in the first half.
Florida could get a touchdown before half. It would be really big.
30 points is the most ever scored against the Steve Spurrier team in the first half at the Swamp.
Well, it certainly is, has all the, what should we call them, the alligators? Or certainly the fans are quiet.
Werfel looks at Hilliard, hits him, and he's not taken down. Tennessee people are not knocking people down. Losing too many tackles. Steve Johnson had him and then lost him. The only time Steve Spurrier has lost only 2 ball games here at the home field since he took over as the head coach of the Gators, and those 2 teams coached by people named Bowden.
Terry at Auburn and Bobby at FSU.
2nd and 10. Doring, nope, they go underneath to Taylor. And Taylor has a touchdown. There's a penalty flag.
You got a clip.
They're going to bring that one back.
Steve can't believe it. He had a touchdown, and then just at the end, before he's going into the end zone, he's going to get a clip.
Right in front of him.
Pushing it back.
During the run on the blue team, 10 yards and stop the foul. Now, hold on a minute. Let's see this first down.
That's going to be coming right at you. It's a back coming out of the backfield. All the receivers are clearing out. Taylor, nice hands. Now watch number 12 right here. Pushing the back right there. Go ahead and run it. That's what he called right there. Yeah. Probably would have gotten in or close to getting in. Would have been at worst on the 1 or 2 yard line. Now it's pushed back to about the 12, 13.
And it'll be 3rd down and a yard. Terry Jackson is in the backfield for Florida. Phil Fulmer's out on the field. He is roaring and raging about something. He's on the sideline over there, and he's asking for a timeout, bringing his team over to the sideline. It was a particular pleasure to come to the ballpark today and watch Tennessee come out of the tunnel dressed in their white and orange. Aye, but the numbers have black around the edges. I can see them. Finally and thankfully, the numbers have been trimmed in black. I don't know how in the world John Ward has kept his eyesight through 28 seasons covering the Volunteers, but he has. And I want to thank Bob Woodruff, because he stood up and clapped the other day when they showed off the new uniforms and probably said something about maybe Jackson will quit whining now.
It was a lot of fun doing Tennessee and UCLA, wasn't it? The powder blue with no black around their UCLA numbers.
I was running into trucks. I couldn't see a thing after that game on a hazy night at the Coliseum several years ago, 1967 or somewhere back there.
That's one of the new quote-unquote rules this year,
Yeah.
that you have to have a little black trim around the numbers.
It does help. Well, we've had the timeout. Tennessee has had its conversation relative to what to do defensively with this thrust for the Gators. After that penalty, it'll be 2nd down, not 3rd, but 2nd down and 1. The ball on the Tennessee 13-yard line, and no backs. This is the formation that's gotten them to this point. So they'll go back to it, and it's thrown into the end zone, and it's an incomplete forward pass. Doring had his hands on it and lost it when he hit the ground. Werfel took a little punishment that time, too.
4-man line rush. Going to put some good pressure. He's got to throw the ball up in the air. Doring should have made this catch. He has to come back for it. It was a tough one, but he knows he should have caught it. He came in with 92 career completions. Receptions, I should say.
3rd and 1. And they go for the first down with Terry Jackson. Behind the line, the surge of the 2 guards in the center. They'll get their first down at the 11. Time remaining now just 18 seconds.
Spurrier's calling the plays. Clock stops.
Florida has a timeout. Tennessee does not.
action, quick step, one-on-one on the outside. It's called a fade. Your receiver against the defensive back. Hilliard runs it well. Was out at practice on Thursday, and the first part of the practice, the quarterback and all the receivers inside the 10-yard line working on their pass offense inside the 10, and they were working on that route right there.
Edmiston for the point is good. Clock shows 9 seconds remaining. It is now Tennessee 30 and Florida 21. And they total 51 points headed toward the clubhouse at halftime.
18 is Jenkins. Hilliard. Jenkins knows what's coming. Hilliard just runs it well. Ball was thrown well. Somehow, you know, Steve's reliving his youth. You know it? I mean, he's out there at practice. He's throwing the ball. He takes some snaps from center. He shows the quarterback how it's done. He didn't like exactly how it was done, but sometimes just saying it is not enough. So he got in there and he'd lob it a little bit, or he'd throw a little. Steve's got good footwork. The arm is a little weak, but he still has the good footwork.
Well, they're still dragging up stories. I read one the other day about the Terry Dean circumstance, and they went back and found every quarterback they could find that didn't like their time under Steve Spurrier. And you find out that every one of them that didn't like it didn't have a whole lot of success.
Let me tell you something about, well, here goes the kickoff.
The low bouncer picked up down around the 11-yard line. And it's Sean Summers. And Summers will come back to about the 28, and that should do it for the halftime. Clock showing now 3 seconds remaining, so there'll be one snap.
But the Florida offense and their quarterbacks, any quarterback in the Steve Spurrier system is going to be successful and throw a lot of touchdown passes. It's not the successes or the touchdowns, it's the number of bad plays, bad decisions, and interceptions that will get you out of the lineup and somebody else in, because anybody that's in his system at quarterback is going to be very successful. It's not the good plays, it's the fewest number of bad plays.
Werfel now has 45 touchdown passes. Peyton Manning touches it down. That'll do it. And at halftime, Tennessee leads Florida by 9, 30-21. We're going to have a little rest, and we'll be back.
You come to the right place. Tennessee 30, the Gators 21, and the Tennessee band is on the field.
And it's 23-7. Remember, they haven't won here since 1971. Then the defense goes to work. Danny Werfel with the fumble. Raymond Austin picks it up and then rumbles 46 yards. Tennessee takes a 30-14 lead. Danny Werfel has thrown for a couple of touchdowns in the game, and right now it's a great one at halftime, 30-20.
Into the ball game today, the question was, can either defense stop the other's offense? And the answer at halftime is no.
More points in the first half of this game than they've ever scored, 51. And the amazing thing to me is Tennessee offensively and Peyton Manning. They have only been stopped. Well, in fact, they stopped themselves the only time that they haven't scored in the first half.
And here we go with the second half of play. 30 for Tennessee, 21 for Florida. And the Gators will kick it off to the Volunteers. Remember, Florida won the toss, and they pop it up. They do not want Sylvan to have it, and it goes to an up man, and the ball is fielded and carried across the 40 by linebacker Craig King. Here you have time number.
Look at the total yardage, almost even. 1 yard off. Passing yards are about the same. Rushing yards. First downs are about the same. Number of plays, about the same. Big thing is turnovers. Tennessee has 10 points off of 2 Florida turnovers.
So very close on
all the
stat board, isn't
yeah.
it? First down now for the Volunteers at the 42 with Jay Graham lined up behind the quarterback. They've got 2 wide at the top. They've got a flanker and a wide at the bottom, and Manning is throwing, and the pass is completed to Nash. And Marcus Nash, who had 2 touchdown receptions in the first half, will pick up about 5 yards.
The leaders offensively for Tennessee in the first half. Manning was 13 of 16 with 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Graham, leading rusher with 42 yards, and Nash had 2 touchdowns. He threw to 8 different receivers in the first half.
From the 47, 2nd and 5. Graham outside. Last man got him. That was Fred Weary, number 24, so that's twice now in the game. Weary has saved touchdowns. He ran down Marcus Nash in the early first play of the game.
We'll watch to the right side, the offensive blocking. Lehman, number 66. Who is that? The tight end, Horn, 82?
Yep.
Yeah. They're just mowing them down, and then good blocking downfield. 27 yards on the run.
First down, the ball is at the Gators' 26-yard line. Just starting the second half, 30-21 Tennessee. Manning quickly, throws quickly. Ball is completed to Staley, and Maurice Staley is down inside the 12, close to the 11. Another first down.
Well, for Tennessee, the game story, run behind that good offensive line. They have 19 rushes for 50 yards. That average is not very good. Defensively, they didn't want to take away Florida's running game. Florida has 65 yards. They've done a pretty good job of that. But the story for Tennessee, through the air, Peyton Manning and that offensive line.
First down at the Florida 11. They're trying to get a quick one.
In charge, Peyton Manning.
He threw quickly. The receiver had slanted on a post pattern, and it was nobody in the neighborhood. Second down and 10.
A misconnection there.
Maurice Staley was the man that was running toward the post, and Manning expected to see him out there planted, and that's where he threw the ball.
Look at the possessions for Tennessee. Forget the last one. That was right before the half. They had the ball 6 times, scored 5 of them. 5 of them, 5 times, scored 4 times. Excuse me.
Florida showing blitz. Manning rolls it out. In trouble. Down he goes at the 16-yard line. Big play for the Gator defense. Dexter Daniels, the linebacker.
Play action, one of the things that Manning is not good at is foot speed and outside the pocket. Daniels, an inside linebacker, just runs him down.
So it is 3rd and 15.
They can't afford anything to happen to Peyton Manning. They have 3 true freshmen behind him at quarterback.
Shotgun. 3rd and long.
Screen.
Set up a screen for Graham. He won't get there. He's down around the 4 or 5. And in comes the kicking team with Jeff Hall.
It's all right. I like the call. David Cutcliffe wanted to make sure that he had an opportunity to at least score first in the second half.
So they'll put the ball at the 5. And Hall will have his try. He's been good from 31 yards today. This will be a 22-yard try. It's no Is that a lift for the Gators? Tennessee is turned away when Hall missed from dead blank range.
For Florida, first half, Werfel 16 of 24, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The rushing leader was Terry Jackson, and receiving, Hilliard led him with 5 and 2 touchdowns.
Jackson is back in there as a single back and has the ball. And he's taken down short of the line of scrimmage by Steve White, number 64.
Everybody's fresh. First half possessions for Florida. They had the ball 7 times and scored 3 of the times. The last one was the big one, the momentum going into halftime, 12 plays, and got the touchdown.
Calling the play using hand signals at the line of scrimmage. Little swing pass out here. Terry Jackson is hit and pelted out of bounds. Well, they finally got something on somebody on the sidelines. Terry Fair hit him out.
5 receivers are out, leaving all 5 offensive linemen to take care of Werfel. Little swing pass. The middle linebacker's got to cover this. No way the linebacker can cover this wide receiver, the back getting outside. Fair, number 13, comes up and makes the play.
Ball on the 28-yard line, 3rd down and 2. Jackson. Bill Duff gets credit for the tackle, but he's got a first down for Florida.
Well, for Florida, we said they needed a balanced attack. They've rushed the ball 14 times, and they passed it 24. And defensively, they need to confuse Manning. No sacks. Manning has had a great first half, so things for Florida, defensively at least, not going so well.
Werfel handing the ball to Jackson. Keeps bouncing around. He took a solid lick from Brown, bounced off of it, and then Leonard Little finally got him with help from George Kidd.
Little is the young man that we've talked about going into the ball game against Mo Collins, the youngest offensive lineman for Florida. Little, the junior college transfer, came to Tennessee a couple of years ago and was disappointed when he couldn't get in. He thought his grades were fine. Now he's back, and he says, I just want to get out and play good football, and he certainly has done that here today.
2nd down, 11. There's 6 DBs in the ball game. The so-called dime defense for Tennessee. They bluff blitz. Florida runs the ball. Fred Taylor. And he almost slipped away for a first down. He's very close, and here's Swanee.
When I talked to Steve Furrier at halftime, he says after the last drive going into the halftime, going into the locker room at halftime, all he was going to do in the second half was run draws and put the ball in the air, because that's what his team does best. On the Tennessee side, Joey Kent was injured with concussion. He will not be back in the ball game, and Coach Fulmer anticipates that Florida is going to put the ball in the air. He is going to blitz more, try and bring more people, and change his coverages. Keith?
They did get his first down, so on 3rd and 11, they run for it. Here's Werfel running to get some room, and then he trucks on out of bounds. And will be about the line of scrimmage where he went out of bounds. Scott Gallion, Tennessee linebacker, was the man in pursuit. Tennessee's blitzing efforts have not been impressive. They just haven't been able to puncture as much.
Well, Werfel is smart enough that if he sees it coming, he'll let it go to a back or one of those wide receivers. Remember that when you do blitz, you're single covered in the secondary, and Florida's got some pretty good wide receivers.
Give Werfel a yard on the run, make it 2nd down and 9. And he gets some heat in the back, but gets his pass away from Doring, and Chris finally makes a play. He finally got a chance to make a big play, and he puts it down on the Tennessee 35-yard line, first down. So Tennessee had an opportunity, and they don't score. And now Florida's coming right back.
He's going to throw this ball right over the center of the formation. Green 78, Mitchell 71. Blocking for him, and Doring, who was an ex-walk-on and really shined as a receiver for the Gators the last few years.
Now has 3 balls for 47 yards today, just short of the 35.
Here they come.
Running it. He runs right around the blitz. got another first down, and here's a penalty flag. And I think Goring is going to get dinged for an illegal block.
Yeah, hit him in the back.
Yep.
During the run, we have an illegal block in the back. The offensive team, a 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul.
So it happened down toward the end of the run, actually. So it brings it back to the 37. So it's not that big a foul, actually, is what I'm saying. It'll be first down and 11 and a half or so. Werfel throws it out there to Taylor, and he drops it. There was a big old lineman between him and Taylor kind of lost vision on the ball, and by the time it got there with a little snap on it, Red couldn't handle it.
You know, he had some running room too, Keith. The linebackers were blitzing that time, and Werfel read it, dumped it outside, but just couldn't make the connection.
I think Little got in between them.
There's, you can see the canyon. It's almost like a canyon in the stadium, how the noise stays in here.
Second down, 11. Well, it didn't work the first time. Try it again, and Taylor falls down. He was going full speed, caught the ball, tried to juke him, and that's just too much to ask. He fell down.
Well, Lynn said that Spurrier said coming out it was just going to be the passing game and then the draw plays. He's got several draw plays from that passing formation, but that's what he feels best with.
He's got Terry Jackson back in there now as the single back. Here comes Sirota Palmer into the lineup. We haven't called his name yet today. He brings fresh legs. Whistle stop him.
Didn't get it off in time.
Burned the clock. It'll cost him 5.
Steve knew what he was doing. He saw what he saw, and he was trying to check out of something and get into something else.
Illegal delay, offensive team, 5 yards, replay the down.
Saw that score. Kentucky broke a 12-game losing streak today and upset Indiana. Florida's penalties now, 7 flags, 66 yards.
John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, doing a nice job preparing his defensive volunteers. Blitz, fake blitz, show him, take it away. It's a guessing game.
Back to the 41 where it's third down and 16 for the Gators. No pressure. Passes away. He's got a man. That's Riddell Anthony. Down at the 12-yard line. Tennessee could not pressure Werfel.
Well, they went with a 3-man line this time, Keith. Not much of a pass rush. 3 linemen coming only. Werfel sees that. He knows he's got more time. Slides to his left. That's a good throw right there. Nice job of staying in bounds, too.
And continued poor tackling by the Tennessee secondary. First down for the Gators. Werfel throws that little swing out to Terry Jackson. And Jackson got a pretty good block over there from one of the big uglies, number 75, Donnie Young. Turns it into a good gain. Werfel is now 21 of 30 for 269 yards. Tennessee is leading 30-21 at 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Volunteers missed the field goal, trying to score first in the second half. Florida now with an opportunity on second down and 4. Give it to Jackson. And he's met right at the point of attack. Corey Gaines is on top of that stack, but there's somebody underneath, and it's Lyon. Scott Gallion, 93, was under there as well.
Gallion led the team in tackles last year. Is a team captain this year.
14th play of this possession. Third down. ABC Sports, brought to you by Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. And State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Big drive here, 14 plays, 80 yards. Florida has scored on 3 of their last 4 possessions going back to the first half.
Now let's see if Tennessee can answer. Nilo Sylvan waits for Matt Teague's kick. Will he kick it to him? Yes. 2-yard line. He had a Florida man right there just looking right at him. And then all of a sudden he turned on the speed and got by him.
Let's go back to the where he told Hillary, hey, just run a slant to the inside.
Manning is 16 of 20, 247 yards. The crowd is back in the ball game. What a draw play with Jay Graham out across the 30. And that'll be about a 6-yard pickup for Graham.
Now, what Tennessee wants to do, Keith, is what they did in the first half on the first 4 or 5 possessions, and that is get back to the strength, and that is their offensive line, run some plays, throw a little bit, let Peyton throw the football, get back to what they were doing well in the first half.
Graham has 75 yards now on 13 carries. It's 2nd down and 4. Hanks is blitzing. Manning got rid of it. And he hit his receiver on the hands, too. It was Ronnie Pillow. But Ben Hanks had a wide-open shot at him.
You got to keep your eye on Ben Hanks, because he is the key to that defense. You almost got a face mask. Peyton does a nice job of getting rid of the ball close to somebody that's a receiver.
Tennessee's 3 out of 6 on 3rd down conversion. The crowd really loud now. You've seen something akin to a miracle. I don't know how in the world Maurice Staley held the ball, but he did. And Manning threw it right in between defenders.
He almost got creamed. I think he jumped right over the guy that was going to hit him, Keith, what you were talking about.
Demetric Jackson is the man dueling him.
Right here, he's going to break to the inside, and when he throws it, watch for the middle of your screen. He just jumped over it.
Pretty good play by Staley. First down for Tennessee. Stay alive. 47-yard line. Crowd up again. This time Manning has more time, and the pass is caught by Andy McCullough, a sophomore wideout, and he wrestles for about 5. Tomorrow night on ABC, Jeff is at the 49 of Florida. This is Graham. And he's going to have a first down. It'll be at the Gator 43-yard line. UCLA coming back against Oregon out west. Cut it to 7. Air Force and Colorado State in a pretty good one in the big high sky country. WAC. Notre Dame blistered Vanderbilt up in South Bend. Lou Holtz at home recovering from some bone surgery in the spine to get rid of some bone growth and calcium. It's causing trouble. First down, Tennessee. Blitz. Pass. One man. Fred Weary. That's the 3rd time he saved a touchdown in the ball game. And here's John Saunders.
14. In the Pac-10, Oregon has the lead over UCLA by 7. We'll keep you up to date. Keith.
Thank you, John. Johnny Major. He's got Tennessee going to go to 3-0. There's a pass to the corner. No! Intended for Staley. The coverage by Weary.
Ball was right there, Keith. Continued to be impressed with Peyton Manning, the blitz before. Now he throws the ball deep. right there where he's giving him some trouble, but that's a good play defensively. Good throw. Just a tough catch.
3rd and 1.